So now let's deal with the game controls. Okay, now I want to add this right under the events. Okay, so PyGame has made provisions for us to work with these controls. Okay, now we need to do like some kind of initialization. So we'll go through the keys. We say keys equals PyGame dot, let's say key dot get. I'm forgetting this thing. I think it's get pressed. Good. Get pressed, and then you add a bracket like this. So this is like some initialization that we are doing. Then what we want to do is we want to say if, okay, then we say our keys, we make a square bracket. We want to say PyGame dot key left. Okay, so the two keys I want to be using is the left arrow key and the right arrow key, and I think that's key left and key right. Oh, I remember. You're supposed to use a capital key, okay, key left, key right, but they still mean the same thing. Okay, yeah, all right. So it still means the same thing. So if you are hitting the left key, what do we do? Let me say it like that. We want to take our car X, okay, and then we want to, let me see, left. We want to decrement it by 5, okay, like this. Then let's go again. In fact, let me just copy it. Like, let me be a proper programmer. I'm going to copy this and edit it, right? So let's copy and let's paste this, okay. Then we want to change this to right, because this time we are dealing with the right key. So we say right, good. And this time we want to increment it, okay. Now I'm going to be explaining like shortly, so don't worry. I want to do one last thing, but I think it will be good demonstration. So let me just run the window, and then we are going to show it. Okay. So let me just run this. Let me run this. Okay. So as you can see, we are moving a bit. Okay. I want us to pay attention to what happens when we get closer to the walls. You see, we are entering. We are basically entering. Okay. And it's basically boundless. You can move and move and move and move. So we do not want that to happen. It looks weird. It looks like a bug. Okay, it looks like something we didn't see. So we need to fix that. Okay, and what we want to do is, so let's say this is a 0. Okay, I always explain this using a graph. This will be 0. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to the top there. Another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to here. Okay, now again, let me explain this part of what we did. So over here, right, when we said car X, if it's left, we want to decrement by 5. Okay. Again, if we use my number line theory, wherever we are, when we decrement by -5, it's going to take the number lower. Imagine it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from left to right. If we decrement by 5, 10 now turns to 5, and 5 will be this way on the line. So that ends you moving this word. On the other hand, if you increment it, go to something like 15. Now 15 will be found on this far side. I wish I had a whiteboard. I'll explain better. Then we move like this. So that's just how the movement is. So we are simply saying, okay, when we hit this wall, you want to reset it to the bounce, the value that the bounce has. And over here, to want to reset to the value that the bounce has. That's one way of keeping everything in bounce. Okay, so let's just look at how that's going to be done. So still right around the controls, we want to say if car, okay, car X is less than 0, then car X is equal to 0. From my explanation, we kind of know that the starting point of the viewport, okay, the starting point from the down there, we kind of know that it's 0. All right. So once we hit there, we want to just reset it to 0. It makes sense. But for the other side of things, you realize that the dimensions, that part is the width. This part is the width. So we would have to use our width variable over here to be able to get those bounds. Again, I may not be going into too much detail, but catch me in the PyGame course and you'll be fine. So again, we say if car X, okay, then we say is greater than the width. Now we are using capital weight because it means that it has exceeded this our weight. Okay, imagine you are going out of the screen I have set for you. Or what are you doing? Okay, so it has exceeded that, right? Now we are not done. Now when it has exceeded that, the car itself is a body. It itself carries values, numerical values that we give to it over here. Okay. Now we want to say, okay, now when you have crossed it, you have added your body weight of 60 to it. You want to take it back. You want to subtract it, and that's how we'll get you within bounds. Okay, good. So these are the conditions that we want to hit. Then we say car X is equal to, we want to set it to the weight again minus the car what? Minus the car weight. Because we want to subtract it. Okay, we don't need a colon here. Like this. Okay. So this should be able to handle like for both conditions, like for the left. So this is going to, let me see. Let me say this is left bounce. Left wall. Let's call it left wall. I think there's one DSA problem like that. Yes. I think it's a spiral matrix. So let's see left wall. And then let's make this right wall. Okay. And then we want to run the game again to see where we have gotten to. Okay, if truly we are within what? We are within bounds. Okay, yes. So you can see that the road itself is displaying. Now let's try to do the movements again. Now I'm going to near the walls, and you can see that we are tight there. It's almost even perfect. I mean, we wrote perfect mass. Okay, and then we go to the right side. It's still almost perfect. You see, so we wrote perfect mathematics. And by that way, we are able to keep the whole thing what? Within bounds. Okay. Now, what we want to do is we want to create obstacles, like I said. So the next thing to do is to create obstacles that will be moving through. You know how your standard endless racing game is, and you try to dodge them. Okay. So next we have to deal with the enemy car logic, and we'll look at that soon.